Hey, folks, I'm Rick Brusuelas, and with Joe Carlton, we host the Thursday Checkdown. We're super proud that this show marks our 100th, and we really appreciate the Sports Affiliation for allowing us to share the platform. We also thank you, the audience, for giving us a watch every week. You probably notice I'm one Joe Carlton down. Joe is taking a well-deserved vacation with his family, so I'm flying solo tonight. And tonight's show will focus on fun, as our very special guest tonight is Cooterdoodle. So, hi, Amanda. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. And look, Rick, you can tell them the truth. Joe found out I was coming, and so he didn't want to come on. I get it, He's
Yeah,
avoiding me.
if I know Joe, he probably is driving probably 100 miles per hour just so he'd get the chance to have, to be able to talk with you and share the show with you. So
We'll just
but
have to run it back. We'll run it back another time.
Next week. So everyone who misses him and wishes he was on the show, you'll get your chance to get him back. So anyway, I thought before we start talking about fantasy football, and I guess I'm supposed to be clicking on these buttons. I'm not used to doing all the technical stuff. And let's go ahead. And I know that Joe's in the audience. Why don't we go ahead and learn a little bit more about you first, and then we'll talk fantasy football. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, where you live, where you work, favorite things that you get to do.
Oh, goodness. Where do I even start? I'm from Louisiana, born and raised out here with all the mosquitoes and the terrible team this year that I think is projected 5 wins. Love fantasy, love pickleball. That's my new try to stay in shape hobby, I guess. But yeah, just out here in Louisiana having a good time.
Well, and your biography on, and I guess we should, remind folks where they can find you, and that's Fantasy Life, one of the really top fantasy football groups out there. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I noticed that in your Fantasy Life biography, it mentions that you received your doctorate after joining Fantasy Life. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? What's your doctorate in? And should we be calling you Dr. Cooterdoodle?
No, because I feel like it would falsify how good I've been in fantasy lately. I got my doctorate in 2022. And so I'm a speech pathologist. I work with kids with language disorders in my real job, my day job, and then Fantasy Life, for fun on the side. And as long as they'll have me, I'll keep on working there.
What kind? And in fact, when did you start playing fantasy football?
Oh, goodness. I started playing back. I think our home league is about to draft our 10th or 11th year. So it's been a little over a decade. Great group of people from like high school that we've known for a while. We've had a little bit, I don't know if you're in like a long-standing league. We had a little bit of turnover, but we've been like the last 4 or 5 years locked in with the same 12 people, which has been very refreshing. And I did not think I would be so obsessed with it. I turned into like the person that was always texting way too early, like, hey, are y'all ready to start talking about it? And everyone's like, yeah, so it's July, and they weren't ready. But it's a great group. It's the one league that like, no matter what, even if I never win again, I would never leave. Like, it's just a good group of people.
Okay. And how many leagues are you currently in?
I will never tell. Mainly because I really don't know. I can't bring myself to count. It makes me nervous.
Yeah, I know that usually I ask that question and the first thing I get is, and then, it's like, well, I play in some best ball leagues and they don't count. And,
right.
I've unfortunately added to my list and I get in trouble each time I talk to a new, person running a charity league, since it seems like every time I talk to someone in a charity league, I always felt like, oh, gee, that one sounds fun. I should do that. So
do you count best ball in your count? Like, do you count those in your total?
No,
you shouldn't, right?
I don't. And I don't count the the fantasy cares eliminator leagues. One,
Mm-mm.
because
Yeah.
they are best ball, but they're also so unique and so fun that
Hmm.
yeah, I just think of those as being part of my doing for charity list. But I think I'm somewhere in the 32 leagues.
Okay.
And that, yeah, that's getting kind of hard to keep track of everything. In fact, you may hear some chirps. I'm in 2 drafts right now. So
Hmm.
you may hear a reminder that I'm supposed to be running off and, choosing someone, but
All
we'll get
good.
to it. I'm sure we will. Um, and do you play? Is there a particular type of fantasy league you like the best? Dynasty, redraft? What's your favorite?
Yeah, like my go-to, my most comfortable is a one keeper league. And it's because I feel like I get really nervous, Rick. I don't know how you are. You're in so many, so you're probably not nervous at all. But I get nervous in Dynasty just because I feel like it's such a it's a commitment. It's a commitment. And not just because of my team, but like I've seen Dynasty leagues just implode and fall apart. And like I like the taste of redraft, but I like how with a keeper you still have to look to the future and you have to be a little more strategic. So that's kind of my sweet spot. But I've tried IDP leagues. I'm in a couple of those.
Right.
The guillotine leagues, you know what I mean? Like I've tried all the stuff. But redraft keeper leagues are probably my bread and butter.
Yes, it's good to know that I'm not the only one that has commitment problems. So
Hmm.
you prefer redrafts. That's great. Now, tell me what got you. In fact, what are you doing with Fantasy Life? And you can kind of remind people in the audience who runs Fantasy Life and how you got hooked up with the team there.
Yeah. Honestly, to this day, I'm like, I still have to pinch myself. I'm like, I don't know how this occurred. I joined Twitter in 2020, like peak COVID, stuck at home. And one of my friends had kind of put me onto a league. And it was nice because I found this little niche, safe corner of people that were just as obsessed as I was. And which opened up a whole new world because I was always the one out of 12 that felt like I was kind of crazy. And as I got to know more people, I just started having fun on Twitter, connected with Matthew Barry, started writing. Well, I actually started running the socials there. Now I write and do shows. But yeah, it's been a fantastic ride. It's been a lot of fun.
And I know that, I noticed that you were doing a lot of work on Twitter, but you were doing some really cool videos, little
Hmm.
shorts, and also, some of the things that you do that aren't even related to fantasy football usually are just hilarious and fun to see. And again, it looks like Matthew Berry has put together a really cool and
Hmm.
diverse, interesting group of analysts.
Yeah.
When you were first contacted were you contacted by Matthew, or,
Yeah.
how'd you
Yeah.
get connected up?
Yeah. That was like, I don't know if you remember, if you had seen any, I'd done this little thing where I did like petite pods where it was these very short, because everyone was doing these hour-long podcasts. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to flip the script. And so I did these petite pods that were like a minute max. And I would send questions to people and they'd send me their answers, but then I would record it with different questions to kind of make it thrown off. And I had asked him to do one and he said yes. And so that's kind of how that started. But yeah, I mean, speaking of the Fantasy Life team, like great people, not just like smart, which they all are, not just brilliant, but just good, genuine people. So it's such a fantastic group.
And I bet this is a hard question to answer because, we'll always want to say, oh yeah, they're all my favorite, but do you have a favorite person at Fantasy Life?
Oh gosh.
No.
I feel like I'm supposed to say Matthew Barry, be a company woman here. I don't know. Like they're all, I know this sounds silly, but like there's so many that are funny and smart and talented. Like, I mean, just go down the list. I could tell you 5 good things just right off the bat about everyone, even like down to the producers and the editors. There's just so many good people there. So I really can't pick. I really can't.
And that's a good answer. I'll I'll say who I like the best on the Sports Affiliation team, because one, I want to make sure he pays me back the money he owes me. No, I'm just kidding on that. But this is another team that I think is a lot of fun people. We're real supportive of each other, and it really makes kind of doing this sort of work just more fun. So yeah, I definitely, I watch a lot of the people on Fantasy Life, and I could easily see every single one of them being just the best. So yeah, I knew that was an unfair question when I asked.
Yeah, they're just all great. Like, I have nothing but good things to say, really. And I know that sounds like such a PR answer, but it's true. Since day one, I've said that I was only going to do this because it's my side gig, right? Only as long as it's fun, and it's remained fun. I think I've been around there for like 3 years, 4 years now, and it's just always been fun and a good time, and it's genuinely good people. So,
and I know you do a lot of things on different social media, and I know that you do a lot of things on Twitter. You also do things on, of course, YouTube, which we're currently doing something on YouTube. Do you have a favorite vehicle, or are you more comfortable writing, more comfortable doing podcasts? What's your favorite?
I like the social aspect of podcasting. Like, it's how I get to kind of hang out with people like you. I get to be social for, an hour. But writing and like even tweets, like the brevity of it, of just like just a little thing and just spit it off, is so fun. But I do like writing. I do, like, in my day job, I write research articles. And so it's fun to kind of be sillier and have a different outlet here with fantasy stuff, like scared money bets. You know what I mean? Like these little 10-cent bets and just silly stuff.
And that's one of my favorite sayings now. In fact, in a draft I'm currently in, I chose a couple of players that I thought were a little bit on the risky side. And each time I placed the draft pick, I would say, "Scared money don't make no money." I'm always thinking of you when I say that. So, but it's a great philosophy. And again, there's a number of different things that you kind of become known for, and so we'll touch on one of those right now, because tell us about your running battle with the New York Times and their Wordle game.
You ever just need something to believe in? That's kind of what it is, Rick. Like, I just need something to believe in, and I just have this faith deep in my gut that they're going to make Shart the word of the day, the Wordle. I just feel like they have to. It's in their like word bank, because if something's not a real word, or if they don't consider it one, it won't let you put it in as an option, and they let you put that in, so they consider it real. So I feel like we're getting closer, but I threatened them with a deadline. I made a video and they didn't do it. So I guess they're not scared of me.
Yeah, and it was funny because I was talking to my youngest, about what Wordle is and how Wordle works and stuff like that. And I happened to mention that you've been with this battle to get Shart in the I guess they run it as a daily Wordle.
Yeah, it's every day. Yep.
Yeah, and she looks at me like I I was like, what? So even she knew what it meant. So I was a little, but I'm sure I'm not going to get into too much trouble later when we start playing a game. But also wanted to ask you about another thing that I tend to associate every time I see you on Twitter, and you mention about we're going to eat good tonight, I think is the phrase you use. First of all, are you sponsored by Blackstone? Is that a Blackstone griddle that you're using?
It is. I'm not sponsored, but I just really love it. I love it so much.
Maybe we could make that happen. The New York Times will go ahead and use the word, and maybe we can get a sponsorship from Blackstone. I'd like to get a Blackstone in case they want to go ahead and sponsor me too. I'll then do we're eating good tonight, because it looks like you're eating healthy too. A lot of vegetables, good stuff.
Well, down here, the staples are like roux based and gravy based and rice and everything, gumbos and jambalayas. So you gotta throw in some veggies. You gotta find a way to get them in.
Nice. Do you make jambalaya?
Oh, we make it all. Yeah. We'll make it
Oh
all.
man, I gotta head that direction soon
Yes.
because I love it. I love, one of my favorite things about going to New Orleans is just the eating, the
Hmm.
red beans and rice and jambalaya.
Hmm.
Uh, um, I forgot what the soup is. That
Gumbo.
gumbo, but
Hmm.
gumbo filet with
Hmm.
the vegetable that you chop up and stick in there. So.
Yeah, you gotta shout out to there's a guy on YouTube called Cajun Ninja. And
Okay.
like Cajun Ninja, and it's like the silliest YouTube cooking show because he's like paya, and then the veggies are cut magically, little editing magic. But like his recipes are great. So shout out Cajun Ninja.
Well, I'll definitely be looking for them. I like watching a lot of the cooking ones. There's this woman named Olivia Tiedman, and she does like a little 1 or 2 minute video of her cooking. I guess she's a professional chef for private parties,
Mm.
and everything she does is really good. But she's known. In fact, she was on one of the late night shows as a guest, and they brought up the fact that she uses colorful language and she
Hmm.
flips off the camera every single time.
Oh,
So
that's hilarious.
so it just makes it for that much more fun because it's going to happen at some point. Uh,
Hmm.
but I love cooking shows. I even as a kid, I guess I was an odd kid, and it looks like JC is making gnocchi on the Blackstone Grill. He made it the other night. Oh,
Shout out.
I'll have to be there again. And Bill's pointing out that the
Mm.
Holy Trinity got vegetables. So,
Right. Bill knows what's up. Bill knows.
all right. Well, also wanted to ask you another question. And first of all, obviously you're in a Scott Fishbowl league.
Hmm.
And so is it a live league or are you doing the slow online draft?
Slow online draft. I almost did the live one in Houston where I got to meet you, and that was so exciting. I almost did that, but I was scared to commit because I didn't know I'm like roughly 4 hours away. I didn't know if I'd be able to make it for sure. So I'm doing the slow draft, which I like. I like a good slow draft. And but I also came in person and I got to see you guys draft live and see all the fun, and shenanigans in real
And,
life. That was cool.
and we really did appreciate you making the appearance because one, it was a drive for you, but two, so many people were excited, including
Hmm.
myself. I was like probably the most excited. Um, I think I shared with you when we chatted just before the show started I have two people on my bucket list, Bob Harris, who I was able to meet in Dallas, and you. So I was
Too
just so
kind.
excited. So not wanting to make you blush or anything, and not hoping that you'll return the favor and put me on your show. But
Mhm. And people need to know too, like it was smooth sailing. Like it was like a well-oiled machine. You ran it so well.
well, I
It was
was
great.
fortunate. I had my wife and both daughters that were helping, and
Hmm.
it may have been like, I guess, the way a duck or a swan swims in the water. Everything seems calm above the water.
Right
Things were
underneath,
going
just
like crazy, and so, but it was great. We also had John Bosch who showed up and
mhm.
did a great job on helping out, giving advice, and um, it was a blast. But do appreciate you coming out there. Have you gone to any of the other live drafts, or was ours the first?
That was the first one as far as like Scott Fishbowl live draft. And it's just something about it. I mean, like I know everybody wants to win fantasy, but I feel like that's such a big piece is just the drafting together part that we all kind of miss out on when we join, 30 leagues. You don't get to do a million live drafts. So when you get one, it is special. Getting to see someone get sniped in person, like my friend Rob that I went with last year at
Rob
the live
Fairley, yeah.
draft.
Uh-huh.
So for those that don't know, Rob Fairley is my home league commissioner of that longstanding league. Hilarious guy, great guy. And he went to the live draft in Houston last year, and he was about to pick. There was someone he was about to pick, and there was someone right after him. It was Chris, right after him, ripped off his shirt and with a Bo Nix jersey underneath, and he started
How fun. celebrating. That was
And
Chris
Rob
Farley.
looked over, and it was his third quarterback, but he took him. He's like, I had to snipe him. I had to do it. So like stuff like that doesn't happen if you're not live.
And it becomes more fun. I mean, of course and this year we limited the drafts to 10 rounds just to provide more time to get people
Mm-hmm.
interacting with each other. And whether it
Mm-hmm.
was, people at your own table or going around and, meeting with and looking at the other drafts, it was, each draft is so different that it's a lot of fun to see
Mm-hmm.
where a player or where that player you were thinking about drafting
Yep.
went in the other drafts. And we also had a room where there were raffle and silent auction items, and you won a couple, as I
Mm-hmm.
recall. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was
and
throwing my little tickets, my little raffle tickets I bought. I was throwing them in all kinds of stuff.
well, again, thank you very much for coming out there. Now, are you going to go to, and I think someone asked about this, so we'll catch that now, are you going to be attending the expo, the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton?
That is the plan. I have not bought my ticket yet. That's on
Uh-oh.
me. But that is the plan. I have a place to stay. So that's really the hardest part,
The hardest, yeah. The DoubleTree sells out, I guess, so quickly that now we've got people that are either bringing tents but
Mm-hmm.
you've got a place to stay, so you got it
Yep.
all covered. So, well, we'll look forward to seeing you out there, and it's
Yeah.
like a big event. It's be my first time being there,
Oh,
so
you're gonna love it. It's fun.
and I'll probably be looking for advice or pointers, after the show, and
Mm-hmm.
again, get another chance to see you in person is going to be exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you already mentioned it, and most people know it, but you have a favorite team, and it's the New
Yeah.
Orleans Saints.
Yep. Love-hate relationship. I'm nervous about this season. I've been nervous every season since probably 20, well, technically 2009, but it's just a roller coaster ride, Rick. You just hold on tight, and when they have good games, that's why I love Rashid Shaheed so much, because I need something to root for, even when we're losing. I need to find like that glimmer of hope in there, which is he could score a touchdown any day.
And I dedicated a draft pick. I think it was maybe even the 10th or 9th or 10th round. I'll have to go check. Choosing Rashid Shaheed because
Mm-hmm.
I know, I can remember seeing. I think you have 3 jerseys. I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
So
can't see them, but I see them right there. They're right there.
So I just know he's going to have a huge year. He actually had started out really well last year until he
Mm-hmm.
was hurt.
The
So
injury, yep.
hopefully that's going to be our favorite receiver of my team.
Yeah, he may not get a lot of catches, but when he gets it,
He goes,
he could
yeah.
break away for a 60-yard touchdown.
So what are your expectations for the team this year? Are you expecting,
Ooh, last year, Rick, I don't know if you remember, a lot of people thought after 2 weeks we were going to the Super Bowl.
they did, yeah.
And I was one of them, and I felt so dumb, felt so silly after. And so my hopes are extremely low this year. I think we're projected to win 5 games. I looked at the schedule. I think that's probably pretty accurate at this point until we see who the starting quarterback is and everything. So I'm just not getting my hopes up. 5 feels good. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I was a Houston Texan fan from the moment they started. And so that you could imagine those first couple of years were pretty brutal. We
Mm-hmm.
also had a Carr as our quarterback.
Right.
David Carr was, 101. And it was, I went to Fresno State. Both cars went to Fresno State. So, of
Mm-hmm.
course, I was really looking forward to seeing Carr. But boy, I tell you, he was just crushed under the weight of so many, rushes, and there was no offensive line at all. So he spent probably more of his time on his back trying to put parts back on as he was getting up off the ground. Derek Carr was actually a pretty good quarterback. And so I can remember one
Yeah.
year, at least from Scott Fishbowl scoring, he was like in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't meant to be. And now
Yeah.
your quarterback situation is really cloudy. What are you thinking?
I mean, gosh, Rick, I feel like Rattler didn't get a fair chance last season. There was a lot going on, a lot of injuries, a lot of things going on defense even. but I almost feel like the fan base needs like just a fresh start. So I'm curious to see what they do, if they start with Shuck or not,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I actually, and again, I think Rattler was a pretty decent college quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
especially his last year. But it's going to be tough because, of course, they did, invest a lot in, drafting Schluff. Am I
Shuck.
saying it? Shuck?
Shuck. Like you shuck
Okay.
an oyster, shuck.
Uh,
That's
which,
how I remember it.
which is a good thing to do in
Yeah.
Louisiana too.
Yeah.
So, but so I'm guessing that he'll get the starting job. Or has that been settled yet?
No, it hasn't been settled yet. I don't think he's even technically signed, which people are like speculating on, but I don't know that I'm worried about that. But it's so funny because I am on Twitter and I see like the Saints stuff a lot just because, it figures out what you look at and what you hover on. And it seems like it's very torn. Like there's no definitive answer. Nobody's entirely sure what we're going to do. So,
Well, and you got a great. It's always been a pretty strong defense, and so you're
just
going to
old
be and aging, but
Yeah.
but you have a couple good wide receivers. Of course, you got one of the best running backs in Alvin Kamara. Kendry Miller broke my heart a couple of times. Every time
I know.
it looked like he might do something, then he'd get hurt. In fact, I was going to draft him, but it looked like he got hurt going from the draft, the collection of players to the draft board. So I said, he's going to get hurt again. But Alvin Kamara, what a great running back, huge games. So I guess you're excited about that. Looks like Joe Carlton's got a question. I'll go ahead and pop it up there about whether Kendry Miller, you think Devin Neal's going to be, the primary backup to Kamara.
I mean, I don't know, but I'll say in Scott Fishbowl, I took Neal. I think I drafted him today. So for what that's worth.
Yeah, and again, he great college career, so that I think that's a pretty good pick. There was one last question I had for you, and I think I also saw it in your Fantasy Life bio. Tell us about how you won a 10-set bet with 240-1 odds in 2024. So specific. Right. So I'm sure there's a good story.
Well, I mean, I am actually, I say scared money don't make money, but I am scared to bet, guys. So I put these little 10-cent bets out there on my strategy is usually whatever I'm rooting for in fantasy, I do a bet that's completely opposite. So that way, my fantasy team sucks, but hey, maybe I won $5, and it gives me the sweat. I like the sweat of it all. And so I think that week, I know I have it on Twitter somewhere. It was like a plus, 24,000 bet. I needed people on the 49ers, I think, to score a lot. And so I bet a no touchdown. And it was two teams that are high scoring. And I turned 10 cents into $24. So that's my claim to fame. And everybody in the comments was like, why? What a waste, 10 cents. And I'm like, y'all have no idea. The rush was thrilling. It was so much fun.
It was the win. And $240 is $240. That pays.
No, well, it was 24.
Oh, 24.
Right. But still, off of 10 cents, it felt good.
That's a fast food restaurant dinner.
Right.
Why not? That's cool. And it's a great story. So we are a fantasy football website. We talked a little bit about fantasy football, but wanted to ask you some questions about what your thoughts are in fantasy football. And by the way, your content is always such a great blend of information as well as humor. So can you just kind of give us a little bit of an idea of kind of what gives you the inspiration for that sort of, different thinking and funny ways of looking at things.
I don't know if I have a specific answer other than I always am fascinated. I feel like as long as you lean into what you're comfortable with, some people are really, truly so good at seeing patterns and numbers and kind of seeing into the future almost with stats. And then for me, I just know where my strengths are, and it's just making fun of myself or like noticing the narratives of stuff. And so I just kind of lean into what I find fun to read about and try not to be what I'm not. You know what I mean?
Well, you did this recent article called "The True Meaning of Fantasy Football."
Mm-hmm.
So can you share with us what the true meaning of fantasy football is?
For me, it's camaraderie. It really is. Like I think I don't know if I said this just now or right before we were on the show, but like I would, if someone said you will never win again in your home league, I'd say that's fine. Like that's fine. I don't need to win because it's so fun. Like the banter, the trash talk, the lore of like the guy that always takes the defense first, or we have some guy in our league that always thinks he like lives near Green Bay and he always thinks he has insider information and it never comes true. But every season he's in the chat and he's like, guys, I heard this thing on the street. I think this is happening. And so just all that stuff to me is what fantasy football is. Cause I feel like fantasy football is the context where you get to be friends and have something to do. Because back in the day, we were all at school together or we were all going out doing things. And so that's really what I lean into. Winning is great. Winning is fun. I want to keep winning. But for me, that's not everything, you know?
And you also co-authored a great article with Kendall Valenzuela,
Mm-hmm.
person on the Fantasy Life team
Mm-hmm.
that also, I love to watch. And it was on decoding OTA reports. And so as someone who's always trying to divine any insight from these OTAs and practice reports on helping me to build my team, what sort of things do you think are the most important when you're hearing or seeing these reports?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that I don't listen to them a ton. Do as I say, not as I do, because I love like when a coach hypes someone up, I'm like, yep, that's right. I want that guy, you know? But if you look at the history of like what they're saying, that's why I follow like Coach Speak Index on Twitter and everything, just seeing what do they typically say and how does that play out and what's their pattern. But I don't know. I mean, like I remember so many people getting burned. But I think it was a year ago when Kyron Williams was going to be a punt returner and everyone panicked and it was fine. And then Chase had dropped some balls. I think it was his rookie preseason. Everyone panicked and it was fine. You know what I mean? Like there's so many storylines, but I think as long as you're consistent with if you're going to believe it or not, you're just stay consistent, you know?
Are there certain coaches that you find are either more honest or better about giving information? I know, like, for example, Peyton, you can almost never believe what he says. But
Yeah.
are there other coaches that you find are better about providing real information?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying about Peyton, but at the same time, like his actions, I do trust. Like when he took Drew after he was injured and he was about to go to another team, and then they didn't want him, and he went all in on Drew, and we saw how that played out. And then his history with drafting, I forget the stat now. It was only like Reggie Bush, Kamara, and now RJ Harvey. I think we're the main three of the only running backs he drafted, maybe like first, I don't know how many rounds.
Yeah.
And so his actions, I do trust. You know what I mean? Like when he shows you who he believes in, and even like Bo Nix, people thought that was such a reach. I think it was like 112 and everyone was surprised, but he was one of the better rookie quarterbacks last season. So I think that's kind of what it is like some are a lot of talk, but like look at their actions, look what they're really investing in and what they're doing, you know?
Yeah, and he's definitely, quickly rebuilt the Denver
Yes.
team, which always had a
Yes.
good defense, but now, they have a really, really good offense, and they
They
have
do.
so many weapons
Mm-hmm.
that I think the Denver fans are pretty lucky. So, one other article, and I know that we both have kind of shared that we're big Shaheed fans.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you did a great article on Shaheed. And probably as someone who's a very, devoted Saints fan, you probably know more about him as a player, but it helped me feel better. I've mentioned I drafted him like 9 or 10. So I'm feeling that maybe it was a reach. I maybe should have done Jacoby Meyer instead. But I just, like I said, I was just excited to get him on my team. So
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit of something that's going to make me feel like I
Right.
wasn't completely crazy.
Right. Well, there's two pieces to Shaheed. I feel like Shaheed is as the player. Like I said, like he could absolutely, you could not see him get a single catch the whole game. And then all of a sudden he gets one and it's 60, 70-yard touchdown. So that's a beautiful thing to be able to root for down to the last second. But then I also like that what I wrote about in the Fantasy Life magazine out now, Company Woman, is the like idea of a Rashid Shaheed. Like for me, it's Rashid Shaheed. I love rooting for him. I will never stop rooting for him. I like the sweat of seeing, but like I also think it's kind of like a metaphor of find your person every season that you just absolutely want to lock in and root for. And when they have a bad game, so what? They're my guy. You know what I mean? Like those guys that just, it feels good when you see the ball going in the air towards them and you're like, oh my God, I think they're going to make this, you know, that's for me, the highlight. It's so fun.
And again, we're all trying to win, especially in something as big as the Fish Bowl. But I also think it's really important that you like the players on your team, that you feel good about the players on your team. They're not going off and, worrying about if they're going to be suspended or, spending jail time. And so, again, the fact that you have this, attachment to Rashid and have him on your team, I think it's a good thing. So, and I noticed that Sam Schneider, is in the chat and he says he has Rashid everywhere. So
I took him in Scott Fishbowl. I took him and Neil. So my homerism is coming out, but I had to do it. Why not? It's Scott Fishbowl. I mean, why not?
So, and maybe we could talk a little bit about a few other players. In fact, what players are you higher on, or do you like more than, say, their ADP or other analysts?
Oh man. I mean, I feel like that changes so much in the off season, but I'm still, I know everyone's talking about like regression for Baker because he had, what was it, like 4,500 yards and 43 or 41 touchdowns. I still love Baker. I mean, he has so many weapons and they added Egbuka and it's just like, I can't stop. Even though as a NFC South girly, I shouldn't be rooting for the Bucks. I just find it so hard not to think they're just going to be firing on all cylinders with Bucky. I mean, like it's just a fun team to watch. So I love Baker, even though people think that he's going to regress a little bit, which even if he does, he could still have like 3,800 yards and 38 touchdowns, And
I think part of it is that, he's, more of a traditional pocket quarterback. And I know everyone's, more and more excited about, running quarterbacks. They used to call it the Kamani codes, and they're so players that are good with their legs get more attraction, I think, than the traditional pocket passers. But he is definitely one of the players who plays hard, plays with determination. He's an old school player,
Yeah.
And so, I agree. I like Baker Mayfield a lot. I wasn't able to draft him because in my Scott Fishbowl draft, I waited too long. I was like, all of a sudden, my choices were like Trevor Lawrence and
right.
down at that level, the CJ Strouds.
Yes. But what's crazy about Fishbowl is I was looking on the Fantasy Life. They have like a tool, Scott Fishbowl tool, and it'll show you the earliest the player went and the latest the player went in any of these different divisions. And the sheer like vast variety of some people going 101 and then they also went in the fourth. Like you literally cannot predict anything. So just get your guys and just have fun. And like, if you're reaching, maybe you weren't because someone was probably going to take them earlier, so just like go for it.
Yeah. It was hard for me because typically I will draft quarterbacks early, if you're, especially in a super flex, if there are, if I don't have both my quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds, I feel like I'm just going to collapse under the pressure of, underperformance.
Yeah.
But I waited, I think the 7th or 8th round. It was really kind of like scary. I was seeing all my favorites going by and I'm thinking, no, but I need to get production. It's like production, value.
Yeah.
And so I kept on waiting and, Nix goes by and Of course, the first couple of rounds, all the big three were gone, but I'll do okay. Although I'm a little, so my quarterbacks, I don't know how your team is being built out so far, but my three quarterbacks are Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, and I even picked up a third just because at the point I was drafting, it was like 14th round, I think. But the value of the players for the running backs and wide receivers
Mhm.
was to the point where Tua was a better
Oh yeah, at that
chance
point.
of producing.
Mhm.
So I have three quarterbacks. I know some people didn't draft any. So
Oh,
how's your team looking so far?
I like it. I like it. I have Bo Nix. I have Puka. I have CMC. I got my Saints boys. So yeah, I'm loving it.
Well, I'll look forward to seeing your team as it goes
Hmm.
through, and hopefully, how far have you gotten into the Scott Fish Bowl? Have you ever been? I'm sure you've been in the
Um,
playoffs, but how
yeah,
far in?
I don't. That's a great question. There was one year where I did pretty good, but not near like brag worthy.
Okay.
Enough to like keep checking in like a couple weeks into the playoffs, but I was never like top 200 or anything.
Yeah, the last year I just missed out the top 500 where you get to
Hmm.
do all the real, hard play and you're
Yeah.
really taking bows. But I think I was like 503, 504. So
Hey, that's still out of that many. That's
yeah, I felt pretty good about it. And you mentioned the Fantasy Life tool, which is the
hmm
Scott. What a great tool that is. You
hmm
check on ADPs. You can see where a favorite player or player you're considering, where they were drafted. So you can see if you were kind of like way off base.
hmm
And then you can even print out a great screenshot of your team that you can then share on Twitter.
hmm
It's great. And again, thanks to Fantasy Life for hosting it and building and improving it, or not building it, but improving on the tool. So love it. Um, well, I know that we talked about players you like more, but
hmm
what about players that you don't like as well? Are there players that you would be fading?
Oh my goodness. Yes, it depends on the day. I mean, I kind of, once I hit real draft season, I have to pump the brakes on the rookies because I get so excited in the off season about all the rookies. And then I have to remember like some of these won't produce until, halfway through the season. I need to chill out. So I'll probably fade some rookies in my home league and like my August drafts, just because I'm too excited. The bug has bit me. So I'll probably fade some of those.
Well, and Alan gave a great reminder that Josh ADHD is actually the person who originally created the tool. So I want to make
Shout
sure that
out.
he gets his kudos as well. Um, well, one of the things, and I mentioned it when I was kind of promoting the show, but this is really meant to be kind of a fun show,
Mhm.
more than just talking players and stats and stuff like that. And I borrowed heavily from your battle with the New York Times. I have
All
to admit,
right.
I've never played Wordle before.
Oh, it's so
So
fun, Rick.
we're going to be doing it tonight. And we're going to not only do it, we're going to team up or we're going to work together to try to make these Wordle charts fill out. But
Mhm.
we're also looking for people in the chat to help us as well. Because I have no clue. All I see is a grid with a bunch of blanks. And so I'm going to need, and no, we're not going to be able to do shard. I'm sorry. We're going to keep it somewhat clean, Sam. But I'm going to go ahead and hopefully this is going to work because um, I'm now
Is
going
there
to,
like a theme to it, or is it just any word in the world, kind of like Wordle?
it's, I have to
Or you
admit,
don't want to spoil it?
I'll go ahead and share that much. There was some effort to make it football related.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And again, for people who don't know, um, the goal or the game involves 5-letter words, and I did get a lot of help from my daughter Olivia, who's in the chat. Yeah, she's the one that actually came up with the words and the links to the charts to the Wordles. So I don't know the words either.
Okay, perfect.
So we're both going to be giving it a go. And she did try to do her best. There's probably not a lot of different words that are 5-letter words that are related to football, but she did her best. So
Okay.
we're going to go ahead and do the first one. I'm going to go ahead and bring, and voila, we have a Wordle.
There it is. All right.
Okay. And I type slowly, so this is going to take forever. But why don't you go ahead and Amanda? Why don't you go ahead and try your first shot at the first word?
All right, look, I'll say this. If you're going to censor me on chart, then let's do chart, CH. Let's do chart. Because it's chart's a good start word. You have so many letters that you're knocking out. Because this is about elimination, Rick. Like you're trying to eliminate letters.
Strategy to this. So that's pretty cool.
There's strategy.
And Sam came up with Cooter. I don't know if that's going to work, but let's try. Wow.
See? Okay, so do you know what that means?
Okay, I know the green is a good thing because
green is good.
It's in the right location and it's the right letter. The yellow is that it's the right letter,
but the wrong spot.
But in the wrong spot.
Right.
So what's our second? And people in the chat help us out too.
Oh, so, look, let's go with Hep. Hep said saint. Let's do saint. Okay, that's a good guess. That's a great guess.
And as you can tell, I'm struggling with the.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. Strategically, we're kind of wasting a play here because we know T is there, but that's fine. Let's try it.
Okay.
Let's just see.
Bingo!
Nailed it.
Wow, that was good.
Nailed it. I would not have guessed that.
Okay, well, that's great. So we're going to go to the next one. And I'm hoping this is going to work. Yes, it worked.
All right.
Okay. Now, you smart people in the chat, this one's going to be harder. So, Alan, we really do need your help. But Amanda, why don't you go ahead and give us our first guess?
Let me see. Let's just go with. I'm thinking of the ones that I use in real Wordles just to eliminate stuff. Let's do climb. CLIMB. Climb.
Okay.
That's usually my, baby. Let's go. Okay.
2 letters. Okay. So what's our next guess? People in the chat, are you helping? Not doodle. It can't. Too many letters in doodle.
Would it be blitz? Should we do blitz?
Wow. You are really good at this.
Let's see. Is that it? Throw it. Oh no, it's not blitz. Okay.
You get another letter, right? So we know.
Right. But But now you have to start, you don't want to just keep doing BLI words because you're wasting. You could eliminate some words here. So all right, chat, let's do something that has letters we haven't used. Because if we do blimp, I'm sorry, but if we do blimp, we're wasting it. Let's do pound, POUND, to just eliminate some vowels, eliminate some things here.
Let's see. I know this is a strategy.
No
letters.
Okay, but we eliminated it.
Oh, okay.
Somebody said bling. I'm trying to think if it's football related. Maybe it could be bling.
Okay, we'll try that one. See if that one comes in.
Like a Super Bowl ring? No. All right.
Try blitz. I think someone guessed.
Yeah. Blitz. Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. Let's try blitz and just see.
You don't sound very confident in that one, though.
Well, we're running it. Okay, it was blitz. Okay.
And it's a football one.
Okay, so it was blitz.
Sense. Okay, well, that's cool. So we'll try one more.
All right.
We're really ranking through these, though. And stump. Are we going to try stump?
Go with it. Let's try it.
We'll try it.
It's a good word. You always want to eliminate those S's and T's. You got a vowel in there.
No, all right. But we've eliminated it. So that's the strategy. We're okay. Even though none of the letters turned up green.
Yep. Let's do leech. LEACH.
I'm glad you helped me with that one.
Let's get that out. Got to be an A or an E in there. Oh, okay.
Letters, but not in the right spot. So.
All right. Football word. An E and an L.
Bears?
I'm blanking on all the football words.
Oh, but it can't be bears because there's no L in bears. So sorry. You weren't a help this time.
Yep.
Power can't be in there either.
No, but you can. Oh no, because the P, right? The P. Oh, field. Maybe let's try that.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
And I just drafted.
Did you?
Yeah, in a different
I hope
draft.
he has a good year. I hope Fields has a good year.
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
kind of
do.
worried though, but it was one of those times where you scared money type things. He could
He
be terrible.
could. I know he deserves a shot at it. I hope he has a good year.
Yeah, in fact, on that team, I started with Burrow, so that was a pretty safe
Mm-hmm.
bet. But
Mm-hmm.
Fields, my super flex quarterback. I have I just drafted Kenneth Walker and James Conner as my running back. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. Okay.
You
Anyway, I'm
got.
sorry. Oh,
Yeah, but you got to
sorry,
take a shot on him. You got to
I
try.
have to give it a shot.
Shout out to the chat. Y'all are killing this.
Yeah, and I bet because my daughter probably doesn't know Field as a player. She probably caught
Right.
the Field as a
Right.
okay. Well, we'll go one more. We got plenty of time.
So we got Saint, Field, and what was the other one we had? And Blitz.
and Blitz.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
If I was a daughter, I am a daughter, but if I was a younger daughter and I didn't watch football, what would I think about football?
Younger, she's 26 or 27.
Okay.
She's not young yet.
Okay. But her brain is fully developed.
It's just
That's
fully
that's
developed.
good. Okay.
And she's in the chat, so let's not.
Is she a little silly goofy?
No, not really.
Oh, because I was gonna say let's try balls. Footballs.
Okay, we could try it. Sure.
Strategically, we wouldn't want to do a double letter, but let's just try it.
Yeah, and I think she said something about not wanting to do, but we got some letters.
Oh, there we go.
And we eliminated one of them, right? Or two of them. Well,
Maybe Bills. Maybe, I don't know, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Let's try Bills. Let's try it. Let's just see.
Oh,
Because I feel like she would know. She probably knows his wife. And so she's probably, when she thinks football, she's thinking the Buffalo Bills. No. Okay. I'm trying to get in the mind of a 26-year-old.
Oh, come on. So we got help in the okay. Someone said balls. No. Hey, I am young.
What could it be?
Let's see.
Oh my gosh. Guys, help. Football word. Something we're zooming out. We can't get too tunnel visioned because it's broad terms.
Hep came up with an idea.
Bowls, maybe Super Bowls. Let's try it.
Okay.
Hep's about to go 2 for 2. Let's see. This is probably it. I feel good about it.
I'll wait a second.
I feel good about it.
Build up some tension, build up some excitement, and
there you go. Hep knew. Hep is like a 26-year-old woman. He's got it. He's locked in. He knows what they think about.
Well, we have a few extra minutes, and we do have one more we can do. Are you up for it?
Let's do it.
I love it.
I haven't gotten a single one, but the chat is rocking.
Okay. Well,
Hep just DM'd me. He got 3 for 3. I'm so sorry, Hep. Sorry.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that part of the game?
No, he's really killing it in the chat. He's doing a good job.
Fuego. I love it. Okay. I'm going to let you start us off with what's a good word.
All right. This is not football related, but I saw someone say it earlier. Let's do gumbo.
Gumbo. I like the word, but I don't.
Everyone, go make a gumbo. Go try it out.
Gotta know, but it's in the wrong place. So, come on, chat.
What about
And it's not. Sorry, Sam. It's not chart. The time will not let us use that one.
Okay, somebody else said drops. Let's do drops. That'll eliminate an R. That'll get a D and a S in there. We know an O's in there. Ooh, okay.
That didn't help too much, did it?
No, it didn't, Rick.
And the dingo ate my baby, but Bill, I don't think that's. Well, it does have an R, so that's not going to work.
Right. Oh man, chat, help me out here. You could throw it in there. You could try it out if you want to do dingo, even though that's not going to be it. It can eliminate cover. Oh, cover. Let's do cover.
I like cover. A lot because in defense you cover.
Oh, guys, yikes. Okay, so we're either starting with an O, Rick, like strategy wise, it's either starting with an O or it's an O at the second to last.
Oh yeah, because we can see that
We've
there's an O here,
eliminated.
there's an O here. They
Right.
can't be there. It can't be there. So it's so. What's a word? Football word that starts
Starts
with
with
an
an
O?
O. That's 5 letters.
Round. No,
Ouchie.
come up with round. But
Yeah, round. Let's do round. Well, we know it's not, but that's okay because of the O, but let's just try it. Oh, and we know there's no U. That's okay.
and we didn't get any other help from that.
No,
Other than eliminated.
that was not strategic.
Hmm.
We're
Okay,
playing
Mel,
we're
you
playing
didn't
like
help.
we're playing like the Saints out here. We're not making good choices. Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to scroll through the chat and see if there's other good words.
Do we need your daughter to come and help?
We might. Shoot. Let's do, somebody said peach. Let's do peach. At least we'll see.
Oh, that only leaves us one more guest though, right?
And you know what? Yeah. Also, you can click it, but I'm just realizing we already did C and we already did E. Okay, but there's an H. R-O-H. H-O-R. Oh my gosh, normally I do this with coffee in the morning silently.
Here.
And I can make mistakes on my own. Yeah.
Drink.
I feel under pressure.
Here, I'll take
She
some.
stumped us. Hey, but look, at least she stumped us. Somebody said broke. No, because there's an H. Choke. No, because we did the C. I don't know, Rick. What are you thinking?
I am so lost on this one. So I'm, I don't play a lot of games. So that's why I enlisted my daughter, who is throw. Will that work? Shall we go with it? Joe might be coming out from the road with it.
Yeah. Oh, that would be good because the O is in the right position. The R is in the right position. That's probably it. I told y'all we should zoom out. Shout out, Joe. Okay.
Awesome, Joe. You got it.
All right.
So, look at that. And actually, you got it even earlier. Hours. That one wasn't going to work. And Olivia, she can't even remember what she put. So she couldn't even help. So that is such an awesome. I tell you,
guys, we made mistakes, but we're going to review the tape and we'll come back better next time. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, we're 5 for 5 as a team. The team did well. Yeah.
Yeah. We did make some mistakes, but it's okay. We live, we learn.
We'll give credit where credit is due. It wasn't Joe, it was Blakely.
Okay, Blakely, shout out.
She did it while she was driving. That gives her extra. Sorry.
Oh, and she didn't even have the visuals.
Yeah, look at that. Of course. Okay, well that now we'll put that up there because it's true. Well, this was a lot of fun. This is the first time we tried doing a game on the Thursday Checkdown, and it all worked. So shout out to my daughter for finding the website, which allowed us to do it, and coming up with the words. So appreciate her helping make this a fun game, and appreciate having a professional Wordle player here to help make my first time doing it. Although I have to admit, I didn't do anything.
It was all the chat. It was all the chat.
It was all the chat. And so thanks people in the chat for playing the game with us, and hope you all had fun. Amanda, I hope you had fun too.
I did.
Well, we are running out of time, so I wanted to say that's it for tonight. So first of all, I'd like to thank Cooterdoodle for being a guest, both in the Houston Live Draft and especially here tonight. Why don't you remind people where they can find your work?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter or X at Cooterdoodle, and then you can subscribe to the Fantasy Life newsletter and read the articles there, watch the shows, tons of good content from everybody involved. And tomorrow morning, wake up and start chart,
And Joe, as I mentioned, we'll be back and crushing it again next week. We're going to be back here on Thursday night at our regular time, 7 p.m. Eastern, when our guest is going to be Joe Frick. So please continue to watch. Hopefully you hit the like button at least once. If you're not, I'll give you one last chance to hit the like button. It does really help folks know that this is a show that's good to watch, fun to watch, and appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody who's watching tonight. And we'll look forward to seeing you folks next week. And thanks again, Amanda. It's been great.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Bye now.